got one already.
From Christina Max?
Yeah.
What movies did you guys watch?
Well, we watched this movie by a French director named Maurice Pialat, and he made this movie called We Won't Grow Old Together. And it's a movie that, you know, not to be like grandiose or overstretched, but that was like, I wish our movie could be related to this movie in some way, because it was really nice for me to see. It's a movie about these two people who are having a love affair, but they fight like crazy. And it's French, so it's vicious European fighting, and very moody. Like there's one moment in it that was just my favorite fucking moment, where they're sitting in a car, they get in this fight, the guy gets out, slams the door, and just walks away. And just her sitting there, and then after 5 minutes he comes back, gets in the car, and he just had to go think about things for a minute. And it's, that's my kind of thing. And it was great because it was an example for me of just the kind of, it was much more aggressive fighting than is in our movie. This is real shouting and kind of like, I think that Philip and Ashley have a bit, it's more tense, but, and kind of more held back a little. This was like really, you motherfucker. But it was just nice to see an example of kind of viciousness. And also, they never really make up. They just fight, and then it fades out, and then it comes back, and everything's fine again. And I think there was like the way time moved in the movie was something that Alex was really interested in for this movie. So it was really nice to see that.
Oh, I see one over here. That movie is amazing, by the way, and we should totally show it here pretty soon. It's a great film.
Yes, it was
Very unsentimental, which I think is also a quality that I kind of appreciate about this movie. Just some.
Hi. My question is, did you do any research about publishing world and being an author for this film?
When I had worked before on a television show, and I played a writer, and it was created by a writer named Jonathan Ames, and I learned, I feel like, I don't know like everything about the publishing world, but that was sort of a lot of information about it, and it was interesting to me, and sort of my entrance point to that. So not as much this time around in terms of the publishing world, but for sure talking to Alex about writers, and he's much more literary, and he's a much more avid reader than I am because he can read faster than me, and he just consumed so much. There was just no way I was going to be able to consume all the books he seemed to be referencing and stuff. So really, it was sort of just about kind of talking about what kind of writers we were interested in, what kind of writer maybe Philip was, just as another game. I know it's a weird word to use, but I don't know what else to call it. Just kind of two guys romantically gaming about a character.
I don't know where Doug is.
Oh man, this guy's like a center. Are you pointing at this guy?
Yeah,
or are you
let's do
pointing
this
at
gentleman. This
Okay.
gentleman in this polo
right.
that is kind of a burgundy color.
Nice.
It's good looking.
So the movie was, roughly like 90 minutes to 2 hours, which is kind of average length. But you say the script was long. Was there a lot that was taken out in editing? Was it just the dialogue was fast, or was there a lot of really specific action?
It was specific action, and it was like odd action. Like it was odd details that I've actually never encountered before in a screenplay. Details that are only really relevant to the reader, not to many you would never know. For instance, and by the way, I think that screenplays can be written in all forms, from a paragraph to a super in-depth script, but this was like, he would say like, Philip enters the room, it has stars, we describe this whole room, I'll give you the exact example. He's talking about this party Philip's at, where his uncle is there, and he describes the room, the people, what they're eating, all this stuff, and at the end of this long paragraph it says, it is his birthday. Philip's birthday. But we never talk about the fact that it's his birthday. that's an example. So it's full of things like that that are these sort of, for me, for the readers, for the actors, like it talks about a meal that Kristen Ritter prepared. It's a meal she had been slaving over for hours, but they're just eating it in the movie. It's just stuff like that. And honestly, like, if there was no movie ever made of it, it was a great read. You know what I mean? It reads more like a book a little bit, so it's full of all those types of, it's like description, but about something that you're actually never going to see.
But it ends up informing.
It ends up informing, absolutely, yeah. So I've never encountered any type of, it is his birthday before.
No kinds of birthdays, ever.
Never. I never knew anyone's birthday.
Okay, I'm coming back to this guy that I skipped past before. White shirt. Hi.
Nice.
So the film really focuses a lot on these really intimate relationships, but then obviously Philip is sort of this like cold, abrasive character. Did you find it difficult to connect with the other actors in these really intimate scenes because you were sort of had to play someone unlikable?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. I mean, after a month with Alex, just really trying to zone in on Philip and think about everything from his point of view. Like when I first met, or I had actually known Elizabeth Moss before a little bit, but when we first were reconnected for this movie and talking about it, and she was like, yeah, I can't believe Philip would do that to Ashley. I remember thinking like, well, I mean, I understand what you're saying, but you didn't, you know, you're at fault too. You know, I really only saw so much from his point of view, but there was something nice about being a person who didn't really care what anybody thought about you or what you said and your reputation. That was nice, but I will say that the scenes with Ashley where we are fighting, I remember she cried and it wasn't supposed to be, I mean, it wasn't not that it was supposed to, but it wasn't, I didn't know there was going to be crying, and she didn't cry in one of the takes, and then all of a sudden and I remember getting such a confused feeling because I'm doing the scene and all of a sudden I just start to see, like, you know how someone, when you first start to see them cry, like, all of a sudden their eyes just look a little shinier than usual, and then they really start to just, and I remember thinking, like, don't do that. don't you cry right now. Because I really like Elizabeth and care about her a lot, and she started crying, my heart, I was like, oh, fuck, like, don't cry. And then I started to just get angry, like, don't cry right now. Elizabeth, I'm trying not to care about you. So yeah, it was hard, especially with her. With Jonathan, less so.
We have time for 2 more questions. So, Doug, this guy that I can't see, what is this guy gonna say? Ask.
Hey, I was just wondering, there's a lot of close-ups in that movie. As an actor, is it hard to act when the camera's like right in your face like that?
Well, there's 2 things. Some of those close-ups, the camera really is right in your face, and I didn't think it was weird at all. I mean, it was really cool the way Alex shot the movie and Sean Price Williams, cinematographer, the way they lit it, and the way they wanted to shoot the movie was essentially like when we were in Ike's house, for instance. On a normal movie, like if we were shooting in a living room, that would be the set. And then all the rooms off of Ike's room would be where the crew would be, and there'd be wires and cables and things. But in this, they wanted every room to be available at any moment to be shot. So, you know, if Jonathan felt in one take that he would like to leave the room, and I would have to follow him, that was a possibility at all times. And sometimes that kind of thing, you know, you could feel that. And also, sometimes, you know, he'll be shooting one person and all of a sudden go like this, unexpectedly. And there's a real excitement about shooting that way, that you're all acting together. Like Sean, the cinematographer, is acting too. And a lot of times, because of the way it's lit, because of shooting any room at any time, there wasn't a crew, so it would be myself, or whoever was acting in the scene, Sean, Alex, and a sound person. And I love that kind of, like, we really are kind of having to work together. So if like I walk like this, he's gonna go like that. There's kind of like this, that's what I like about working on a movie is the collaborative nature of it. I like everyone working together, and so it really feels like that when you're working like a machine kind of. And then other times the camera had really long lenses on it, and he would be like across the room. I didn't even know it was a close-up. And I think that kind of adds another kind of claustrophobia.
And this is shot on film, by the way, which is kind
Yeah.
of unusual for a movie nowadays.
As a matter of fact, in one of the driving scenes, when I'm driving around, the camera was mounted on the hood of the car, and Sean was in the back of it laying down, and I got pulled over by the police for driving with an obstructed vehicle. And it was just so nuts. And the guy pulled me over and he said, "What are you doing?" And Sean like hops on the back of the car and opens the door, and the cop's like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa." He's like, "Who's this and where are you going?" And he's like, "I gotta go turn off the camera." You know, and if you were shooting a digital movie, you would let that camera roll, but he had to like put himself on the line. This cop was aggressive. And
To protect the film stock.
to protect the stock. And I also got another ticket for driving without a license. That was really embarrassing. The guy's like, "Well, sorry, I'm gonna give you a ticket, license, registration." I'm like, "I don't have it, I'm in character." I got another ticket, I got 2 tickets. Yeah, it was nuts. Sorry, last question.
One question. Last. We're Doug.
Back there.
Oh, we have one from the back.
He gets goodbyes.
When you were growing up and starting out in acting, who were you compared to, and how did you deal with that?
When I was growing up and I was acting, who was I compared to?
Yes, when you were first starting to acting, when you were young.
I don't know. I don't mean not to answer your question. I really don't know.
Did you have any idols? Anyone you wanted to compare yourself to?
Not in the beginning because I didn't think that largely. I mean, I didn't. You know, I mean, my first movie, Rushmore,
It's a pretty good movie.
That's, you know, I was entering my senior year of high school. I was not an actor. I was not pursuing an acting career. So I love movies so much, but, you know, I just didn't think that was a possibility. I didn't think that I had that type of instinct or whatever for that. And so after I got back from Rushmore, I went back to high school. I finished high school and I was in my band. I didn't even have an agent when that movie came out. So you have to understand, I know it sounds like a line, but truly I didn't think like, that's the kind of guy I want to be like. My mind was playing catch up for a little while there, just trying to piece it all together because it was so unexpected for me to be working so quickly too with, you know, Bill Murray, like he's an idol. So it was, my brain was not even at the level of who would I like to be like. I was just trying not to die. In many ways, you know, just trying to like be okay. These scenes and stuff in the movie. So
And
that's the honest answer.
And
Coming up records going on tour.
Hit it, boys.
power up the organ.
On that note, I don't know. I never really considered going on tour, and the reason for that is because I sing on the records, but it's more of like it takes me so long to like try to sing it right. I would gladly tour if someone else would sing, but it's really the singing that is what's holding us back.
You can ask me directly. I will do it.
I'm gonna ask the cue now. You'll sing for Coconut Records?
What do you think about that?
Well,
Maybe with some Fisherman's Friend lozenges.
Yeah.
And if I can lip sync.
can you really enjoy Fisherman's Lodge? I mean, honestly.
It's the sensation of having a less like fuzzy throat that I enjoy.
But it is such a strange tasting lodge.
Jason, I'm on Ignati's side on this. This is
No, I understand.
Fisherman's Friend, bring lozenges,
I understand.
right?
You don't want it to taste like a candy. The less like a candy it tastes, the more you feel like it's working. But that thing is, the texture is so strange. It's like so nuts.
I like it. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with the
I'll
strange
revisit
texture.
it. I'll revisit
I've got a box sitting over by
it.
concessions.
They come in boxes now. They used to just come in a paper pouch.
The pouch is inside the box. They modernized on the
Son of a
outside,
bitch.
but I need inside. It's still
Well,
a.
on that note, Chicago's making